You guys are here to save the world today.
One small business at a time.
All right, all right. Good morning. This is John Harmon. I'm founder, president, CEO of the African American Chamber of Commerce of New Jersey. You know, everyone is feeling the effects of inflation, whether you're buying a container of milk. You know, last week I stopped to a little corner store. I had a taste for some cereal, grabbed a quart of milk. It's $2.50. If you just multiply that by 4, that means it's $10 a gallon, which is significant. And so today joining me is Andrew Glatz, head of SBA, Peapack-Gladstone Bank, and Carolina Rozewski. And if I'm wrong there, I apologize. Is that close enough, Carolina?
That's perfect, Carolina Rozewski.
Oh, wow, I got it right, okay. Community Development Officer, Peapack-Gladstone Bank, and we're delighted to have you here today, and we're looking forward to hearing from each of you because, you know, small businesses really fuel America's economy. Small businesses here in New Jersey are an integral part of our economy, and ensuring that they are aware of the causes and effects of the current economic climate is going to be helpful. But moreover, hearing from the two of you as to ways businesses can cope in these turbulent times is equally important. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the chamber here, and then I'm going to throw it back to you all for today's presentation and dialogue with our audience. The African American Chamber of Commerce, our mission is all about economically empowering and sustaining African American communities and businesses through entrepreneurship and capitalistic activities throughout our state. We work in partnership with the National Black Chamber, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, which I'm privileged and honored to be on their board. I served as the former chairman of the National Black Chamber. So we are well informed as to what's going on throughout America, and we bring some of those best practices and information to advise us how to implement and execute an effective strategy on behalf of our members. Next slide. You know, our radio show, you know, I'm pretty excited this Saturday. Pathway to Success airs at 9 a.m. on NJTV and njtvonline.org. We're just privileged and honored to have our friend Rick Cotton. He's the executive director of the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, and all that is anticipated with the Gateway Tunnel, the expansion of Newark Airport, New Jersey Transit, all those transportation arteries, if you will, kind of intersect in some way with the vision of the Port Authority. So tune in. Next slide. Our corporate awards event, and this is an amazing slide our team has put together, making an impact together. And that's what we try to do every day with our partners here at the African American Chamber of Commerce of New Jersey. October 20th from 6 to 9 p.m. at the DoubleTree by Hilton in Cherry Hill. Honorees this year, AT&T, American Water, Business Promotion Ideas, and Davis EIS. You know, we would love to have you in attendance. You can register and get more information at AACCNJ.com. Next slide. Upcoming, you know, June 15th is a very important day for us in the history of the African American Chamber. On the 15th of June, 2007, we founded and established the African American Chamber of Commerce in New Jersey. And on June 15th, 2023, we're gonna launch our first Black Expo at Legacy of Excellence. Gonna take place at Montclair State University. This is an opportunity for the full economy of New Jersey, small businesses, nonprofit, faith-based corporations, financial institutions, healthcare. Everyone will have an opportunity to make this event a success. We encourage you to find a way to participate. There's sponsorship opportunities, there are exhibit opportunities, and there's just a chance to come out and network with some great people. We're gonna do some matchmaking and a host of webinars. Well, not webinars, I'm sorry, networking event or interactive sessions where we'll have panel discussions and so on and so forth. Trying to put this webinar in our rearview mirror somehow, but I think it's here to stay. And next slide. All right, Andrew, Carolina, I'll throw it back to you, and we're looking forward to your presentation today.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, John. So I would like to start by introducing ourselves. So thank you to the Chamber for this opportunity. I am very happy to be here today sharing information with my colleague, Andrew Glatz, who is the subject matter expert on this important topic that is inflation in our economy today. I am the Community Development Officer at Peapack-Gladstone Bank, and I have 13 years of banking experience. I have been working for Peapack-Gladstone Bank for over 10 years, and it is a great organization to work for. Andy, do you want to introduce yourself?
Good morning. My name is Andrew Glatz. I head up the SBA department here for Peapack. I've been with the bank about 7 years now and doing SBA lending and assisting small businesses for well over 25 years.
Thank you, Andy. So I'm going to share my screen now so we can show our PowerPoint.
All right. And first, John, thanks again for having us here and discussing and hopefully giving some best practices and some ideas from the bank's perspective here on this inflation and this important matter. And we appreciate that. So we'll start by what is inflation? And, we see it out there, front and center right now, but what does it really consist of and how did we get here? So inflation measures the progressive increase in the price of goods and services over a period of time. And as prices go up, consumers start buying less. Makes sense, right? You see that out there. Now, it's been around forever. It just didn't start now. It's been around. You think about it, we threw an example in there, $100,000 in 2002 doesn't go nearly as far as it would in 2022. So it's always been there. The difference now is it's been increasing rapidly. The number where it's at is really high, and it's affecting, as John said, everybody, your life at home and especially your small business. Next slide.
Thank you, Andy. So before we continue, I would like to give an introduction of our bank. And Peapack-Gladstone Bank was founded in 1921, and it is a New Jersey bank holding company with a total assets of $9.5 billion as of June 30th, 2022. Peapack-Gladstone has a total of 20 branches in Somerset, Hunterdon, Morris, and Union counties, and its headquarters is in Bedminster, New Jersey. Peapack-Gladstone has grown into a wealth management boutique firm through our wealth management services dedicated to providing customized services to help individuals build, protect, and transition wealth to future generations. We provide innovative private banking services to businesses, nonprofits, and consumers. We have an experienced team with deep industry expertise like Andy here and unwavering commitment to our clients. Our foundation is built in 5 core principles: professionalism, we compete to win, we are one team, our clients come first, and we invest in our community and pride ourselves on the depth of our relationship with our clients. We offer small business loans. We also offer affordable mortgages and other products and services for your financial needs. We also have a great website and a user-friendly app. And without any further ado, I'll give it back to Andy.
Carolina, thanks for the bank introduction. I appreciate it. I stepped on you again there, but so we'll talk. We said what inflation is. Now, how do they measure inflation? And they come up with the numbers, the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, the PCE index. And what that means is they take all this information and the government spits out a number and they come out, that's your inflation number. And again, it's front and center. You see that number keeps rising. I think as of July, that number was 8.5. Normally we see that number 1%, 2%, 2.5%. So it's a big number. You haven't seen numbers like this in 40 years. I know many of you may have not even been in business back then. So it's new. It's a concern. You know, we want to make sure you address it. You don't want to put your head in the sand there. It's there. You know, is it, going to change? It will. We're going to come up with some, ideas that could help you, be more proactive and deal with it better while we're dealing with it right now. So next slide. What is causing inflation? We got a couple things, and it's the perfect storm. Back in 2021, we started to see an increase in the inflation number, and that was caused by the stimulus money from the monetary, the government. They're putting out the money to ease the COVID effects of COVID and the pandemic in the form of PPP loans, EIDL loans, personal stimulus checks. So there's a lot of money into the economy. We also saw supply chain disruptions, fewer employees in the market, and then also we had the Russian invasion in Ukraine. So all these contributed to these factors that raised inflation, and it brings us to where we are now, and it's a concern. Now the inflation, we see it, it's affecting prices, it's affecting everything else. It also affects a lot of other things, what the government uses it for, the measuring of welfare benefits, social security benefits. And then also, as small business owners, you've probably seen it, your employees will also use it when they say, we need a raise, and they need a raise to keep up with the cost of living. First thing they'll say to you is, well, look what inflation is. My raise was 2%, cost, the inflation is 8.5%. So you got to be aware of that. You got to monitor your wages, your employees, be prepared for it. You may have to figure out how you can do it, or unfortunately less workers and more work, but that's what inflation is looked at right now. Next slide. Unfortunately, small businesses are going to feel the inflation more than large, and we'll use the Amazon, Google example. They can absorb it a lot easier than you can. You have less capacity, less storage space, less wiggle room for error. And so it's more difficult. You want to be proactive. We're going to, go through some ideas here that you can, try to do now that you don't have that room for error as some of these larger institutions do. And as we mentioned, the job market's tighter. You're going to want to retain the employees that you want, which may not be easy. You want to try the longtime employees that have been with you. So we'll go through some ideas there. Carolina, next slide. Believe me, we'll get to some good ideas. These are all the challenges that you're seeing right now. And we put some in there. We'll go through them fast, but the small businesses, from what we see here in conversations with small businesses, more competition, more red tape. What we say about that is if you're doing any expansion, any business acquisition, starting up a new business, the towns have been struggling with, reduced taxes as well. So you'll probably see increase in permits, you'll see increase in red tape, you'll see increase in other areas there that, aside from just the price of fuel, the price of milk, that you want to be aware of. You want to factor that into your plan, into your, you may want to delay, an acquisition or starting your business there when you take everything into consideration. But what we want to do is continue to go over things to make you aware of what's out there and some ways to cope with it. Carolina, next slide. How it's affecting, we put these in there, again, we can probably have you tell us how it's affecting you, but it's across the board. It's across the board increases. And again, across the board in small businesses, not one industry, not one sector, small businesses across the board, all businesses have been affected. So if you look at this and you see, all right, utilities, the natural gas up, and prepare yourself. We got winter coming, natural gas is up, something to be aware of. Rents, paper, shipping, air travel. So these are all items that are affecting what? Your bottom line. And it's, again, it's not just one small business or one large business. It's pretty much everybody right now. Carolina, next slide. So how to protect your business, some ideas, some things that we've seen here at the bank. Review your expenses weekly. And we get it, you're a small business owner, it's not easy, you wear many hats, it's hard to do it. You'll say, all right, that's why I have an accountant. It's important that you get involved, you review them, not annually, not quarterly, it's weekly. You see how quick the things change these days, and just watch the news. So you want to have a good handle on your expenses. If you don't have an accountant that does it, there's software out there, and not just lump your expenses together. You want to itemize them. You want to have all your expenses and know which ones are increasing and which ones maybe you're spending more than you expect on. It's, if you look at it, it's like when you review your personal checkbook and you say, boy, I thought I canceled that Netflix subscription or some of these other subscriptions. It's still there. So you want to review your expenses. You want to do it on a weekly basis. Get used to that. Get into a routine of doing that, because that's what affects your bottom line. You can't control everything from, increasing, but you want to be aware of it. There may be items in there that, you don't need anymore. Run a credit check on new customers. That's important. Whatever, business you're in or services that you provide. If it's a large purchase, it's a large, acquisition, you want to know who it is, because small business owner, you can't absorb that, that loss, or structure it where you need a larger down payment. You want to know who that customer is, and you can do that by credit check. You can go online. It depends on the size of the purchase. You can do a credit check. You can do a reference check. There's, we can provide more information after the call on that, but you want to know who you're dealing with, because you can't absorb that. You don't want to be in that position. And that sort of ties in with the next one. Stay on top of your accounts receivable. If you're in a business that has a lot of receivables, we mentioned everybody is being affected by this right now. So that person paying you, I'm sure they're being affected as well. They're going to try to look to make you the bank. That 30 days will become 45 days, will become 60 days. Stay on top of it. Monitor it. As that starts to get out there, you may not want to extend them more credit or extend them services. And I get it. A sale's a sale, but if you're not collecting it and it's going to go from 30, 60, 90 to a charge off, again, it's better to know sooner. Better to, watch your expenses weekly. So you want to be proactive, stay involved, stay on top of your receivables. If you see a situation that's coming, you may have a conversation with them. Say, maybe there's a cash option or a discount or something like that, but don't become the bank. You're not in a position to do it. Require immediate payment. Depends, on your business there. Best case scenario, you don't want to be out there lending to these small businesses. If you can offer immediate payment, I would do it. And then we suggest that a lot of small businesses do it. Again, we see it here, and it affects them. That small businesses, they do the sale, but unless that money actually comes into the small business, it doesn't help you pay your expenses. So maybe you would require, payment up front. Maybe you offer that discount. It's better than to, a slight discount. You don't want to offer terms there, because again, look at your situation. If you're getting paid 30, 45, 60 days, you have weekly expenses, so you're running, that makes you run a little leaner than you're running now. Carolina, next slide. How to protect your business from inflation. Couple ideas, and again, from what we've seen here with some of our customers, streamline and automate your process. Now, again, we're not talking about bringing in, robots and AI and everything that, but there are ways out there that you can automate your business that can, streamline a little bit more and make you more efficient, and, utilize your employees for more important processes. And some of them would be social media. You can, streamline and automate social media advertising. You can automate and send invoices, that way. And if you think about it, you have less employees that are dedicated to that. You also have less room for error. You always have the human error component in there. So there's ways, improve productivity. Another, we've seen a couple small businesses do it, is stock up on supplies now. And, unfortunately, if you think about it, the prices are continuing to increase. If you're able to buy in bulk right now and you have capacity, you have the storage, stock up. You're going to, if it's a non-perishable, if it's something that you're going to need in the near future, buy it now. Buy it now, save, and then carry it across. You may be able to offer a discount to some of your customers. If you buy in bulk, and believe me, your customers would appreciate that as well, that they know what you're going through and that you know what they're going through. So if you can offer a discount by buying in bulk to some of your customers, you may maintain the ones you have and also try to get some new ones. We left it last, but I know it's the one of the biggest ways, raise prices. So unfortunately, that's the reality. You're going to have to raise them. Be aware of how you raise them. You may not want to do the knee-jerk reaction and, all right, I'm getting killed here. You want to increase them as much as you can. You'll scare your customers. You'll scare your existing ones, and you'll probably be challenged to bring on new ones. Raise them as needed. You think about it, if you have a $5 increase and you have 100 customers, that goes a long way. So if you have 1,000 customers, a slight increase could have a really big effect in your business bottom line. So again, that goes back with knowing your expenses. So you may not, you would think you may want, that you have to increase your prices a lot, but if you have a good handle on your expenses, you may say, all right, this slight increase or several slight increases will get me to where I need to be. So raise prices, but be aware of how you do it and be aware of that effect. Know your competition, see what everybody else is going out there. And again, know your business. It's hard to compare your business to others. Everybody else has more expenses, other expenses, more employees. You may be able to, continue the prices at the level you're at, but just information is key. Carolina, next slide. So as we said earlier, inflation's here. It's never going to truly go away. Hopefully with the measures that the Fed's taking now, with the increasing the rates and everything, it's painful, but that should cool down the economy. That should slow things down a little bit, get us into a more manageable number. What you want to do is stay focused on your expenses. And we put in here, stay small. Goes back to the previous slide there. You don't need to be the Amazon. If you're a small business, you can manage your expenses a little bit better. You know what's going on. You're more involved with it. Here at the bank, sometimes we see larger companies, large top end revenues and, many employees and, big operations. Their bottom line is a lot smaller than you think, because bigger is not always better. And, so sometimes a smaller business, you control it, you can be more profitable, know your expenses. And, right now you may want to, stay in that position. Say, all right, let's see how things turn out here. We'll consider an expansion or an acquisition later, but we're going to stay where we are, control our expenses, and know what our bottom line is. Marketing to current customers. As we said, everybody's in the same boat. They would appreciate you reach out to them. You want to appreciate their business, and they're supporting you. Maybe you're able to, have a loyalty discount or a, something that you want to not only attract new businesses, you want, new customers, you definitely want to retain the customers that you have. Stay in touch with them. Again, with the marketing, good marketing ideas. There's a lot of online social media marketing. You don't need to hire a PR firm and everything that's going to cost you more money. Stay in touch with your customers, and do it effectively. They appreciate it. They want to know that you're there for them. You're doing the best that you can. And I think it really has, a big impact on it. Investing your money fund. It's, again, your business. You invest in your business. Nobody else is going to do it for you. We have some ideas, some tips, some, helpful hints here, but it's your business. You want to take the lead and be as involved as you can, also running your business. And that's why I keep saying, I know it's not easy, the small business owner there, but it's not going to go away. You want to be able to know where you are at any given point in time, not at the end of the year when your accountant says, here, you thought you made money, and your accountant says, no, you actually lost a ton of money. You should know that all along. Bad news isn't, better at the end of the year. You want to know now, know it as you go along. I also left the last one here, take out a business loan or a line of credit. And again, I think that's the easy way, but it's probably more important now than ever. You want to be aware of what you're getting. So what I mean by that, there's good and bad loans. There's loans that will help you out. There's loans that may put you in a worse position than you are now. So be aware of what's out there. Make sure you understand what you're getting into. If you don't, where the bank's available, speak to your accountant, your professional that can give you some more information on it. And what I say by that is there's facilities out there that are fast. They'll get you money within 24, 48 hours. The concern though is your repayment on that. What does that look like? Is it a monthly pay? Is it a weekly pay? Do they automatically take the payments out of your credit card each day? And next thing you know, your rate is through the roof. So you want to be aware of what kind of credit facility you're getting. I think it's a great thing to have. Just be aware of it. And what I mean by that, it's a great thing. A line of credit, always helpful for a small business. That's your lifeline. That's your rainy day money. We look at the news today down in Florida with the hurricane, how this hurricane is affecting small businesses. I don't know, a week ago, nobody was expecting that. They had the inflation, everything else there, but now their business is going to be interrupted and maybe shut down for days, week, maybe a couple weeks. So to have that comfort, that availability in a line of credit, that's valuable. You want to have something like that. And even if you don't use it, as we always say, it's like a large credit card. You want to have that. You want to do the prep work beforehand. You don't want to be, trying to evacuate the town there and board up your store and apply for a loan. You want to try to have that in place beforehand, have your financials, have communication with your bank, your lender. It doesn't have to be the biggest, line of credit. You can always increase it, but have that in place because it's comfort. We go back to not the hurricane, the pandemic happened a lot faster than everybody expected. We were shut down. So you want to have some availability. Lines of credit are great. Business term loans, you get the money up front, but the availability is no longer there. So unless you have a specific use for that money right now, I think a line of credit is real helpful for small businesses. Carolina, next slide. So, we say, don't let inflation get you down. And I think that's real important. And if you were in business before the pandemic and you're still in business now, I think you should pause and pat yourself on the back and say, great job. You look and see what we went through and, what you went through as business owners. We went through the pandemic. You went through shutdowns and mask mandates. And now we're rolling into supply chain issues and inflation. It's not easy. But, I think as John mentioned in the beginning here, small business owners fuel the economy. They're the backbone of our country. You're very resilient. You find a way, you get through it, be aware of everything out there. I think the most important thing is, know your numbers now, your numbers, even whatever industry you're in, there's all different kinds, know your numbers. You don't have to have the biggest accounting firm. Again, there's software out there. Know what your expenses are, know where you're being affected. We say, all right, the fuel has gone up crazy throughout the last year. Maybe you're in a business or a service that's really not that dependent on fuel. Maybe you're not being affected as much. You want to know maybe other areas that other expenses you have really are, and you weren't expecting that. And this way, once you see it, so when we say do your financials, your expenses, do those line items. You want to see what those expenses consist of, and you can be more proactive because you know what that means. That affects your bottom line. So, stay positive as best you can. This too shall pass. I think it's, the more information you have is key. Again, we're a preferred SBA lender here at the bank. We assist a lot of small businesses. We have a lot of information here. If there's anything that the bank can do afterwards, we work a lot with John. I think it's a great opportunity. We can provide some insights to small businesses and help you guys get through these challenging times. So, John, that's pretty much all we have now, and I think we'll open it up to any questions.
Yeah, Andy. So we hear a lot in the news about the government raising rates and how that's supposed to fight back inflation. Is it working? When do you think we'll see a slowdown in inflation?
Well, it's hard to say, and this is you just watch the news, and I think it's up and down there. But the Fed increasing the rates again is trying to cool down the economy. And from what we hear, what we see is that probably will take effect in early 23, maybe mid 2023, and that'll slow down it'll provide borrowers with less buying power, which should slow down the economy, which should bring down that inflation number. Again, it's hard to say exactly when, but we're thinking probably in mid to 2023, it should really, hopefully start to bring down those numbers.
So, if you will, I'd just like to make a thank you, Carolina, for that question. Before I open up for questions for those who are tuned in today, I just want to make some comments. Andrew, your presentation was very, very comprehensive, and I'll make some comments and come back to you with one little small question. I want to thank you and Carolina for today's presentation. I want to thank you all, Peapack-Gladstone Bank, for your membership and support of the African American Chamber of Commerce of New Jersey. It's greatly appreciated. But, Andrew, you provided a lot of information. You talked about the importance of monitoring your expenses, your costs, terms of payment, staying focused. And don't let your eyes get bigger than your stomach. Stay within your means. I thought those were tremendous tips of advice that businesses should take note of, because you're right to say, well, I got to go to my accountant in order to respond to that question. If you're running a business, you should know your own numbers. You should have your own perspective of where you are in terms of, things are going great, or if you got a little turbulence, and also how you anticipate and how you plan to deal with it. As a leaders of your organization, you have to know that. You also talk about borrowing. You borrow when you don't need money. If you wait until a crisis, if you wait until an opportunity presents itself, oftentimes that's going to be too late. And you're going to miss out on a potential opportunity, and you may not be able to keep your organization moving as smoothly as you should. Your relationship with your financial institution is paramount. Providing current financial statements, having a regular dialogue with your banking representatives is key, because when you go to those individuals, they want to respond, but they cannot respond if they don't have the information in front of them. You also talk about the importance of appreciating your customer and marketing to your customer. In other words, what you're saying is you want to retain the business that you have before you start looking to get other business. This is like you might have a hole in the boat. You go to plug this one hole, we got another hole here. So take care of your customers. You also mentioned invest in your business. No one knows their business better than you, and how you present your business, how you execute your business is critically important. We often talk about engaging and leveraging your relationships, and that comment aligns somewhat to invest in your business. In other words, being a member of the African American Chamber of Commerce has significant value, but you have to take a subscription within our organization in order for you to get those benefits like we're sharing with you today. So that was my thought. So my question to you, as an SBA lender, what are the benefits, and why should our members and other small businesses take advantage of this resource?
So John, the SBA, the Small Business Administration, what they do is they provide guarantees to banks, lending institutions like Peapack to lend to small businesses in and around our community. And we're able to lend to these small businesses probably a little more favorable terms than we can do conventionally. Conventionally, we really can't lend to startup businesses, or historical cash flows may be a little challenged, or if the loan to value is a little bit higher. The SBA has a little more relaxed underwriting requirements that enables us to assist small businesses. And I was going to say more information on this, but the business plan is key, John. And it's really, when you go to get a loan, and also for yourself as a small business owner, a business plan is so important. You want to know where you are now, where you're going to go, and includes your projections. So the bank wants to see it. But again, as John was saying, know your business. The business plan is so important. So it measures you for, this year and next year. You want to pull it out again and say, how did I do? Where did I fall short? So it's twofold. Business plan for the bank and also yourself. The SBA is going to want to see that for any small business that's a startup and has no historical. So you're going to want to familiarize yourself with it. The SBA also offers assistance to helping small businesses start this process. They're out there, they offer a lot of training. The bank participates with a lot of this training and assistance. So they very, very small business friendly. And I think it's a great stepping stone for a lot of small businesses that will utilize the start money from the SBA, convert that to a conventional financing down the road, additional facilities in the form of lines of credit or mortgages when they want to buy the building that they're renting right now. So it's a great, it's a great organization there, and we're happy to be part of, or working with them, participating in it.
That's great. All right, let's see if we got any questions out there. Load up the Q&A. What's the best way to raise prices in the current environment? Okay. In this economy.
Yeah, I know. That's it. I think it really goes to your company, what kind of goods and services, that you're offering. And like I said earlier, sometimes if you're able to, a gradual increase is better than a big increase. If you know your numbers, know where you are. And, you think about it yourself, it's the sticker shock. If your price goes up dramatically from one night to the next, you may scare away those existing customers. So that, again, that goes back to, you want to keep your core, you want to keep your customers there. You may want to, I don't know, think about alternative ways to do it. Maybe bundle some services. So instead of raising prices, all right, if you can sell a whole, couple things together at a larger price, maybe that'll increase your profit margin. Maybe you bundle some services together or some goods together. You may not have to increase it all at once. So there's some ideas out there. I don't think there's any, right or wrong way to do it. From what we see, though, I think the big increase is all at once, where it may be justified. It may, not sit well with a lot of your customers.
No, Andrew's absolutely right. Knowing your competition and knowing what the market can bear, right? I think that's key. And you also, instead of raising your prices, you may want to challenge those you buy raw materials from to see if they can give you, if you pay cash, a discount, give you better terms, repayment. At the end of the day, I think Andrew mentioned earlier about a top line and bottom line. Yeah, some folks get enamored. My revenue was X, they're pounding their chest, but when you look at the bottom line, what was your profit? What were your net margins? What did you bring home?
Yep.
That's where the game is made and your business is sustained. So knowing your numbers, bearing that in mind, could help you go a long ways in setting your price to be more profitable. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. I know you have questions. You have these professionals here. Andrew's giving you a lot of information to think about.
I have another question for Andy. So Andy, during COVID-19, a lot of businesses benefited from PPP loans. And Peapack-Gladstone Bank was a big contributor to that. Are there any government programs that you're aware of to help with inflation cost and pressures?
Well, Carolina, right now, those programs have ended. The PPP, the EIDL loans, the individual stimulus checks. I know the Biden administration, I think they're in the process here to try to get some additional inflation programs out there. As of right now, I'm not aware of any, but I'm sure everybody on the call would definitely appreciate a little more assistance at this time.
So are we going to let you guys go early? Ladies and gentlemen out there, you got folks on Facebook that are tuned in. You got folks that are here with us that are tuned in. Questions, comments? I want to remind you all, as you're thinking, I'm not going to let you get away. I may call some names here. I'm going to give you a couple more seconds to think about it, but we would love to see you at our corporate awards event, October 20th. It's a great night of networking, a great night of recognizing some friends and colleagues and individuals you may aspire to do business with. As a business owner, I know you have choices, but when there's an opportunity to get in front of somebody, small, medium, or large potential strategic partner or business opportunity, you have to seize that moment. And so I'm encouraging you to strongly consider attending this event on the 20th and other activities that we have planned. But today, we just wanted to get a question or two out of you. All right, I'm gonna call on somebody. I'm not gonna. I need to get at least two more questions before we leave here. And Mr. Raymond Kim, can you tell us the type of business you have and how long you've been in business? Nicole, can you let them in? Or they can type the question in or the response in the chat. Ms. Goodson, Tisha, same question. Type of business you're in, how long you've been in business? I don't know if this is the interactive session. Nicole, is it? I'm sorry, I'm just taking some liberties here and they may not be able to respond to me. Perhaps they can type in the chat and I can respond to them.
John, while we're waiting for a response, I was thinking of some other ideas that we saw here at the bank and some of our small businesses. What they've done is they've combined or reached out to other small businesses and did a joint event. And a specific example was we had a hair and nail salon that combined with a wine wholesaler, and they had a wine event, and it brought customers into the salon that were going anyway, and vice versa. They co-marketed it. It was a great way. They're in a very the same shopping center there, so they were very close to each other. It was a nice opportunity for them to both utilize the marketing together, bring in new customers, and figure out a way they can work together. They weren't competing against each other. They weren't competing against each other. The people, the customers that were there, we attended a little bit too, and it was a nice event, and just something to consider. Is every small business able to do something like that? No, but again, it goes back to be creative. Think of ways to either work with another business industry, bundle your services. Come up with some ideas that you can be creative in these challenging times.
I like that, Andrew. And Mr. Kim did respond. Thank you. He said he really appreciated this opportunity and the information was very informative. And that's why we do what we do here, to give you information at the ready, information that you've probably been thinking about and did not know how to actually get access to it. Well, we brought it to you today, and our presenters were excellent. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, folks are loosening up now. Okay, let's see. How can a bank like yours help a small business get office space, either to rent or purchase the space with financing?
Well, we're, either conventionally or through, utilizing the SBA. We're very active in our communities and around the communities there. I head up the SBA department here, and, my contact information is on the bottom of the slide. Reach out, we'll see how we can assist. Again, we look at it as, not transactional, relationship driven, meaning that if we're able to help a small business in that early stage, they appreciate it. We appreciate the opportunity for a customer. We stick with them, and they're pretty loyal.
I like that, Andrew. Andrew is frozen. Can you hear me? Am I frozen as well?
No, I think
Okay.
Andy got.
Okay. No, I thought Andy gave a great answer. The next question, and hopefully he'll come back, it says, where do you see the cost of loan financing headed? I can tell you, based on the Fed chair, there are a number of rate increases that are intact. We just saw rates go up by 75 basis points recently. So I can tell you in the short order, the cost of financing is going to increase. And those who may have not had a good credit profile or may have collateral issues, your cost of financing may be even more expensive. But I'll let either Carolina or Andrew give you their response to that question.
Andy, are you back?
Apologize, had a little technical difficulties here, so I missed the question. Carolina, if you want to answer, I'd be more than happy.
No, I'll read the question out loud. So it says, where do you see the cost of loan financing headed?
Well, unfortunately, the cost, the interest rates are going to, we see them increasing. And again, we see them increasing probably through the end of this year into, into early next year. And that should hopefully cool the economy. And then the Fed will stop increasing the interest rates. And, hopefully nothing's ever permanent. And then we start to see a decrease in the interest rates. So I think we're hopefully approaching the high. And, you see it, you see where the residential mortgages are at approaching 6%, which, nobody's seen in a long time. So I think the rates are heading up a little bit more, but then hopefully in 2023, we'll see a pause and then maybe even a reduction.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great answer. All right, let's see what else we got out there. Folks are coming to life now, coming to life. Yeah. Any other questions or thoughts before we bring this conversation to an end? Well, I want to thank you on behalf of our board of directors and members of the African American Chamber of Commerce and each and every one of you that have joined us today. I want to thank our guests, Andrew and Carolina, for their professional presentation and their outreach to you to give them an opportunity to contribute to their success and be a strategic partner with your business. So Andrew's information is on the screen. I ask you to take it down and follow up with them and give them a shot.
Perfect, John. We really appreciate the opportunity, and absolutely, contact information is there. If you don't want to ask the question now, definitely reach out anytime. Be happy to hear from you.
You all have a great day. Carolina, you had any thoughts?
No, thank you so much for everything and for the opportunity too.
All right, be good.
Thank you.
See you guys on the 20th.
We'll see you there.
I'll be waiting by the door.
Thanks, John. We'll see you there. Take care.
Bye-bye.